To escalate days after Iran launched 200 ballistic missiles on Israel in retaliation for the killing of the chiefs of its proxies, Hezbollah and Hamas. Israel deployed its top-of-the-line fighter jets and missiles and carried out precise strikes on military targets in Iran. A total of 100 fighter jets carried out the attacks in 3 waves on 20 missile and drone facilities of Iran. Responding to Israel's strikes, Iran asserted its right to self-defense and said that Iran's strength will humiliate its enemies and they shall respond accordingly. Extending support to Israel, both UK and the US backed Israel and warned Iran not to respond to Israel's recent strike. Amid the escalating conflict, India reiterated its call to exercise restraint and urged both Israel and Iran to return to dialogue and diplomacy. My colleague Pooja Shalhi spoke exclusively with Israel's ambassador to India, Reuven Azar, over escalating tensions in the Middle East. Listen in to what he has to say.
Israel's ambassador to India, Ambassador Reuven Azar, I appreciate you joining us this evening on India Today. I want to understand from you, why do you think that this round of strikes by Israel was needed, was necessary against Iran? Because this also means an escalation to the war. Why did you think this step was taken, and what are the targets that Israel went after?
Well, good evening, Pooja, and thank you for this opportunity. We had not only the right, but also the duty to retaliate against this aggression of Iran, because Iran, as you know, has fired at Israel a barrage of 200 ballistic missiles in the biggest ballistic missile barrage in history of warfare. And this is coming after decades of Iran's support for terror, after Iran has been arming terrorist organizations like Hezbollah, Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and other militias, terrorist militias in the region with weapons of mass destruction, with financial assistance. So we had to send a clear message to the Iranians that they are vulnerable. They can be held accountable. And what we did is we did a very precise military strike that, first of all, took out their air defenses.
Yes.
They have S-300, that was eliminated. And we also hit their missile capability, factories of missiles and drones. And what we have shown with these strikes is that Iran is completely exposed. And if they choose to continue escalating, we could hit Iran much harder. We actually restrained ourselves from hitting Iran hard. There is even some domestic criticism about it, but we are determined to send the signal to Iran that they have to change their course, and that we don't want further escalation.
Ambassador Azar, now Iran has said with the foreign ministry statement that has come that we will weaken and humiliate our enemies of Iran. So my question is, do you think that Israel is prepared to fight a war directly with another nation, with Iran? Because there's already been over a year at least, apart from, of course, the conflict that's been on for decades, but this 1 year has already been like a war situation. Do you think Israel is prepared, if required, to go ahead with this war with Iran?
The answer is yes.
And do you want to elaborate on that? Why do you think that Israel feels that, if required, it is prepared to go ahead with that step?
Because we don't have any choice, Pooja, because we are attacked in a completely unprovoked way, both on the 7th of October, the most atrocious massacre that we've seen since the Holocaust, because Iran has been determined for the last decades to fuel this machinery of terror against Israel. So rest assured that the Israeli cabinet will not risk our citizens by starting something that we cannot sustain. We are fully coordinated with our American friends.
Okay.
We are seeing messages of support from different countries, including the UK and others, because they have seen that Israel is actually acting very responsibly when it comes to using our right for self-defense.
Let's talk about this support from the Western world as well. USA has said that while it expects restraint from both sides, but its support is clear for Israel. Do you think that, what kind of support do you think that means for Israel at a time like this? Because it may not be directly involved, but it does say that it's going to defend with all its might. What do you think that means? Do you think it's an election rhetoric right now with regard to USA, or that USA is going to stand like an ally with Israel?
Well, I think people are attaching too much importance to American elections. What is happening on the ground is very clear. The US administration in the last 2 weeks has been delivering to Israel additional systems for self-defense, the THAAD missiles that are going to be another layer in the missile defense system that Israel has, one of the best in the world. So it's not that we are not concerned. We are worried. We don't want this escalation. We didn't ask for this war, but we have the resolve to show the aggressors that they have to change course. And if they don't change course, they will pay a price.